Yeah, one of the things that uh just it what Trump has done to our courts, and what he's done to our legal system is something that we cannot ignore. One, just the people he's put in place. Two, the way he has shown with his money and his legal maneuvering how easy it is to manipulate the system. Something needs to be done. Something really truly needs to be done. Um we I don't know, as you know, with anything, it takes what it will take to make significant changes to anything is even when the Democrats are in the majority, we can maybe pass some bills, pass some legislation. But when it comes to structural changes as to the Supreme Court, our courts, um, those might be a little bit harder to do. Now, I do think that a Trump defeat would actually allow us to return to norms. I mean, if Biden wins and Trump is not president, then his trying to run out the clock on some of the federal cases um, will have not backfired, but will not have succeeded because he will still be held accountable. Now the question will be, will if he Trump loses, and no matter how many delays Eileen Cannon has given him, and no matter how many delays the Supreme Court has given him as relates to um, presidential immunity, if he's ultimately held accountable, we might not be running into one of those justice delayed is justice denied type things. And ultimately, there'll be people who would make the argument that since he didn't win and since he's still being held accountable, there's no changes that can be made. But hopefully, others will look and say it came too damn close to going wrong. But remember a few minutes ago, and I always like to be consistent, and I don't like to be a hypocrite, and I don't like to contradict myself. But I want to posit something for you. Remember how I just said Trump's legal problems should not be part of our electoral strategy. Um, Trump feels that he has an opportunity with black voters. Trump feels that especially black men who have been not necessarily gotten the fair shake when it comes to the legal system, can identify with his problems. Do you think there's any political upside in looking to black men, black people in general, and Latino people and poor people, um, and saying, look what wealth and white privilege can do for you in the court system? While Donald Trump is going ahead and trying to say you identify with him because he's wrongly accused, um, you do not have, and you could never get away with, whether it's from resources or power, what he's getting away with in the courts. Is there a way to message on that, or is that too nuanced of a subject? But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like I see him trying to say black people like me because they don't get a fair shake within the courts, but I look at it like black people could never get away with the stuff you're getting away with in the courts. Is that something that can be messaged, or is that something that's just too nuanced? Message to the discussions, maybe it's the barbershop discussions, saying, do you realize that um, you can't get a goddamn job at McDonald's with a misdemeanor trespass on your record, yet this dude is running for president with 4 felony indictments. He may even actually have at least one felony conviction by election day. Don't you think that's the real story? Is that poor people, black people, brown people, and poor folks could never even get a job at McDonald's with a minor criminal record, and Donald Trump is running for president with 4 felony indictments, potentially one felony conviction.
I I don't think that's the message I would go with because there's a lot of people who believe that you should be able to run or you should be able to vote if you have a felony. So I think that might not land. What I think lands is Trump's trying to portray himself as a victim. But meanwhile, the entire court system has bended to him. First and foremost, he surrendered when he wanted to on his terms. Second, no mugshot. Third, he's getting the judge to treat him differently in the sense that any other person would have been locked up in contempt in court for everything that he's done. Think about it. He's broken the gag order 10 times on record, and the judge has just fined him $10,000. Now, the judge has threatened to throw him in jail in the future, but we'll see if that ever happens. Anybody else would have been in jail, John. He, not only that, but he will get the appeal system, right, John? Let's say he loses the New York case. He's just going to run it up the flagpole, right? And there's a case to be made that he will get off scot-free because the Supreme Court will protect him. Again, I don't know how that works. I don't know if he can appeal the New York case to the Supreme Court, what have you. But my point is he has access to the system in ways that 99% of people, especially black and brown people, won't ever have access to. There's a woman in jail because she accidentally voted in the wrong district. Even the act of voting is not illegal. She just happened to do it at the wrong place unknowingly. She spent 7 years in jail. And here's a guy who was literally on document, proven to be telling people our secrets, foreign adversaries our secrets. And he's going to be voted. There's a likelihood that he's voted for the presidency again. And I just think that's the message is Trump is going to use the system for his benefit in a way that you can never even have access to the system. I think that's more the messaging to me.